All right, YouTube. It is arm day. An exciting day indeed, where we are going to contract, squeeze, extend, curl our way into, forget 20-inch arms, all right? Everyone has those. We're going to get 30-inch arms, all right? We're not leaving the gym today until our arms are 30 inches, all right? So go ahead, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your girlfriend, tell your wife, what have you, that it's going to be a while until you see them again. I wish the hyperbolic time chamber in Dragon Ball Z was a real thing. I wish I could just step into a gym, train for a year straight, eat, sleep, train, that's it, and then come out and like only a day's gone by. That would be, I would probably pay $200 a month for that gym membership, because the amount of gains that you would make in that time frame focusing on just one thing would be insane. And I know that multitasking is a really good skill to be able to do, but I'm here to tell you right now, you will never do something multitasking. You will never be able to do something as effectively multitasking as you will if you just focus on one thing at a time. So, now that being said, multitasking isn't a bad thing. Sometimes in life, you're going to be presented with situations where you have to divide your focus into multiple different directions. That's just how it goes, especially if you're trying to achieve, more than one goal at the same time. Let's say you're trying to get a promotion at your job, or you want to get a straight A, report card, or get accepted into a college, but at the same time, you want to bench 225, you want to bench 315, you want to run a 5-minute mile. You have to figure out how to time manage appropriately in life so that you can divvy up your focus and efforts effectively, or most effectively, so that you gradually, incrementally get closer to reaching both, or, if you have more than two, all those goals. Not at the same time. The likelihood of you reaching every goal that you have at the same time is very unlikely. It's possible, but it's very unlikely. Obviously, it's dependent on what kind of goals you have, but the goal of, I want to buy a house, and I want to lose 30 pounds, and I also want to have $50,000 in cash in the bank. It's probably, could you imagine if it did happen all at the same time, though? What a week that would be. Yep, just bought a house, 50K in the bank, and I'm at my goal weight. I lost 30 pounds, or I gained 30 pounds, whatever you're trying to do. But I'm kind of getting a little off track here. What I'm getting at is, you have to be able to know when to put all your eggs into one basket, and you also have to know when to kind of take a step back and strategize to tackle more than one thing at a time. That doesn't just necessarily go for the gym, but again, for life. But getting back to more so gym topic, we're headed to the gym now, obviously, and it is about 8:30 in the morning, and the significance of that is that I almost never wake up this early to go to the gym, and that's not me bragging about not waking up early. I am bragging right now about waking up early. because nothing feels better than starting your day off right, which in my opinion involves gym first thing in the morning. Now, you don't have to be David Goggins and go at 3 a.m. You don't have to be like some of these other guys who are talking about going to the gym at 5 a.m. I mean, if you're disciplined enough to where, you're able to get into that routine, great. I'm happy for you, But there's a give and take with everything. If you wake up at 5 a.m. or 3 a.m. to work out, in order to have an effective workout and in order to have an effective day, because let's say you wake up at 3 a.m., let's just say 5 a.m., a little bit more realistic. If you wake up at 5 a.m. and let's say you make it all the way till 9 p.m., you're awake for 16 hours. So that's honest to God, that's a pretty decent amount of time to be awake. I don't think a lot of people realize how little they're actually awake. Your average individual, no kids, no responsibilities, anything like that, on their day off, they're waking up 10, 11 a.m., and then they're going to bed probably 10, 11 a.m. Now that's only about 11 to 12 hours that you're actually awake and spending energy. It's only about 11 or 12 hours that you're actually doing stuff that then requires you to have to go to sleep later that night to recharge. And so if you're waking up at 5 a.m., you're working out, and if you stay up until about 9 p.m., that's 16 hours. Now, 16 hours doesn't really seem like that big of a difference between 12 and 16, but let me put it in hindsight. It's an extra it's a 33% increase in the amount of time that you're awake. So it's a 33% increase in energy expenditure. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning all this is because if you're going to wake up at 5 a.m. and go to bed at 9 p.m., you best make sure you go to bed at 9 p.m. If you're the kind of person who goes to bed at, 10, 11 p.m., midnight, because you're a workaholic or because you just can't go to sleep or for whatever the reason, I'm not saying the reason that you have is a bad or a good reason to not go to bed, but what I am saying is that if you're not getting at least 7+ hours of sleep, quality of sleep, by the way, because there is a difference between 7 hours of poor quality of sleep, 7 hours of good quality sleep. But if you're not getting at least 7 hours of good quality sleep, that routine of waking up at 5 a.m. to work out, to have a good productive lift, workout, exercise, what have you, gradually over time, whether it's noticeable or not, your efforts in doing that routine are going to gradually diminish to the point where it's no longer effective, I don't know if you guys have ever worked out completely exhausted, sleep deprived, wiped, but you don't get a good lift. And it really doesn't matter how much pre-workout you take, because pre-workout can only fix so much. And true, pure exhaustion, caffeine is just not going to cut it. I mean, how many of you have taken a drink of coffee or an energy drink or pre-workout or whatever when you've been absolutely exhausted and literally it doesn't do anything except maybe increase your heart rate, but does not decrease your level of exhaustion? So, being disciplined to wake up at 5 a.m. is directly correlated with being disciplined enough to go to bed at 9 or even 10 p.m. Now, the reason why I say going to bed at 9 p.m. is better than 10 p.m. in this particular scenario is because a lot of you guys play on your phone before you go to bed. A lot of you guys have a lot of stuff on your mind, whether it's work or school, or maybe it's a girl, or maybe you got some stuff going on in your life or something. So that stuff's going to weigh on your mind right up until you finally go to sleep. But when that happens, even though your body's resting, your mind isn't necessarily resting. And so you kind of get an incomplete recharge throughout the night. And so you wake up slightly less tired than what you were when you went to bed, but by no means are you fully recharged and ready to tackle the day. So just something to keep in mind. I'm going to stop rambling about sleep now before I put myself or you guys to sleep. And we're going to get in the gym. We're going to curl 135 pounds. And our arms are going to be 30 inches. So I'll see you guys in there.
No. Oh.
Can't you see I'm easily bothered by persistence? One step from lashing out at you. You want to get under my skin and call yourself a friend. I've got more friends like you. What do I do? Is there no standing anymore? What it takes, who I am, where I've been belong. You can't be something you're not. Be yourself, by yourself, stay away from me. A lesson learned in life, known from the dawn of time. Respect, walk, what did you say? Respect, walk, are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Run your mouth when I'm not around. It's easy to achieve. You try to weak friends that sympathize.
Oh.
35s moved a little bit easier than I thought they would for my pre-heavy set one. We got the 45s right now. See how it goes. That moves a little too well, so let's do the 55s.
Right now, yeah, I'm gonna put my numbers up there. Right. Hold on a second. Now I'm going there.
Light of divine justice, strike at me now! A cowering god who appeases evil can never prevail!
Lumilla, toward the mortals who defile the universe. Anger toward the other gods who have tolerated such behavior.
What's this? The commandment doesn't work on him?
Of course it doesn't. Why should I bear any hatred towards someone who's obviously weaker than myself? My attacks have no effect on you? Who decided that? Your darkness swallowed up my son? Who decided that? I will be the one to decide.
Yeah.
Die.
I'm from the middle finger, I'm from the east side. East Great city. Yeah. Leaks, all that shit. Sticks, all this shit. Hoes, set a nigga up, all that shit. Yeah, all that shit. In the club, nigga ain't taking the train, all that shit.
Cruel song.
I'm from the 5, middle fingers on 6. Dirty land, dirty stick. Bad bitches get hit. Put a nigga on a knee. Rob a nigga for a brick. Rob a nigga for his shit. Young nigga fall out, turn into a snitch. Never turn into a bitch. Gotta keep a cool homie, rob his ass quick. Never falling off, do a nigga bad, robbing for a stash. Do that. Nigga talking like he real gangster, put a stick on his ass. Yeah, shoot that. Gotta keep this shit 100 with you, never switch on your mind. Yeah, go and get some money, gotta get some money, never hold your hand. I'm the type of motherfucker, nigga, never held my hand down. Never, nigga. Stupid motherfucker in my pocket, nigga, know I got my cash.
Demon, God, or whatever you may be. How does it feel to be looked down upon by a human?
Middle finger with the 5s, I'm 6, bitch, that's where I hang out. Apartment, late night, where the motherfucker like to do them shootouts. You ain't out what you talking about, you can't hang out. Please don't try to jump off the porch, you too old now. Lame ass nigga, wanna be street nigga. Sweet ass nigga, put on the plate, eat nigga. Ain't about it, nigga, been in the street.
Holy sword,
For how long, son?
Escanor.
Middle fingers on 6, dirty land, dirty stick. Bad bitches get hit, put a nigga on a knee. Rob a nigga for a brick, rob a nigga for his shit. Young nigga fall out, turn into a snitch. Never turn into a bitch. Gotta keep a cool homie, rob his ass quick. Never falling off, do a nigga bad, robbing for a stash. Do that, nigga talking like he real gangster, put a stick on his ass. Yeah, shoot that. Gotta keep this shit 100 with you, never switch on your mind. Yeah, go and get some money, gotta get some money, never hold your hand.
I am a human, but I'm also the one who stands at the pinnacle of all races. I'm one of the 7 deadly sins, the sin of pride, and my name is Lion Sin Escanor.
All right. Well, that was a good ass arm day. I'm definitely happy that I've separated arm day from back and chest. I used to do triceps on the same day that I do chest, and I used to do biceps on the same day that I do back. Pretty typical strategy, especially for some of you out there who are trying to minimize the amount of days that you actually have to go to the gym because of whatever school or work schedule you got. Dude, what's going on with my hair right here? Oh, whatever. So Definitely felt very strong, not necessarily in just the arms, but overall upper body. You know, definitely felt powerful in my lifts. So, you know, that's good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go home. We're going to eat minimum 100 grams of protein. What will that 100 grams consist of? I'm glad you asked. It is more than likely going to be a combination of tuna sandwich on white bread with a little bit of mayo and a little bit of mustard. I don't think I have any chips, otherwise I would be eating some chips. And then as far as an additional source of protein goes, I might have some chicken, or I might just do a 50-gram protein shake. We'll see. I do have peanut butter, but I don't know. It's up in the air. So, but I can tell you for sure, I am very hungry. Now, I'm pretty hungry in part due to the fact that, and I didn't record this, but I did an hour of treadmill cardio after my workout. Treadmill cardio is just walking on the treadmill at a brisk pace that gets your heart rate ideally somewhere above 100 beats per minute, but no more than 120, 125 beats per minute. And then I do that over a prolonged period of time, approximately 60 minutes. And I just find that, especially when I'm heavier like what I am right now during a bulk, it kind of helps me to work my heart out, you know, so my cardiovascular health improves. But also, it's easier on my knees. I don't have bad knees, but that's because I do things like this to like protect them, to save them. I will sometimes do stair stepper, but that's in my opinion, a much more intense short form of cardio. There is a time and place for that. I'm just not ready to incorporate it yet. I only just started reincorporating cardio back into my lifts at the end of my lifts. So, but now we're hungry and we got to eat. So yeah. What was I gonna say? There was something that I was gonna talk to you guys about. And I thought it was a really good idea. Damn it. I can't think of it. Anyways. Gym crowd was pretty minimal. I don't know what it is, man, but I just, as I've progressed in my, lifting and working out, and as I've, gained experience just in this area over the years, I've really done a complete 180, not only in my philosophy on how to lift, but the kind of mindset that I like to put myself in, the kind of headspace, as well as, the actual type of environment. When I was first working out, I really wanted an audience. I wanted a bunch of people around watching me, seeing what I could do, what I couldn't do, that kind of thing. It was a real show-off kind of mentality. And I think that's pretty typical for a lot of people when they first start working out. And, I wore the tank tops and the cutoffs, all the sleeveless stuff, just to try and flex a little bit more in the gym, try and, maybe show up the guy next to me or whatever. But now, man, it's almost 80 degrees here in Florida, maybe a little bit warmer. And I got on sweatpants. I got on an oversized t-shirt. I don't really talk to anyone in the gym unless they come up to me and talk to me. I'm not like a jerk or anything like that. I guess I'm just really, I take lifting so much more serious now than what I did back then not that I didn't take it serious back then, but even more so now. And I'm just so like focused on what I'm doing, especially since now I lift a lot heavier, not because I'm stronger, but because I'm actually going for high intensity training versus high volume training, which is what I did when I was younger. And if you're not careful, if you're not 100% focused when you're training like that, you'll hurt yourself. And so, you know, I'm always talking about how injury is the enemy, you know, the number one enemy. What did I watch on the treadmill while doing my cardio, you might ask? I was watching some Dorian Yates motivation videos, and then I watched a Mike Mentzer kind of explanation. And man, I gotta tell you, I think out of all the Mr. Olympias, it waxes and wanes as to like who my favorite bodybuilder is, that kind of thing. Currently though, right now I can tell you with confidence my favorite Mr. Olympia is got to be Dorian Yates. The reason behind that is because, and I've kind of adopted his mentality in the gym. The reason behind that is because he's the one that, in my opinion, with maybe the exception of Ronnie Coleman, he's the one, in my opinion, that was the most genuine. A lot of the other Mr. Olympias, you know, they were nice people. You know, they were good guys. I mean, I didn't know them personally, obviously. Arnold has his own little mishaps in the past, but overall, he's a great guy, great man. They're all good guys, but they just had that showmanship about them that I think their sponsors really pushed for them to have so that they could sell their products. And not that maybe I would be the same way if I was put in a similar situation, but when it came to Dorian Yates, he really just didn't seem to care about anything else except for winning and getting bigger. You know, you never really saw him picking up girls on the beach, putting them on his shoulder, flexing in some like bathing suit trunks or what have you. He was in the dungeon gym in England with a cutoff shirt on, barely fitting between machines because of how big he was, and a bandana, just moving iron, you know? Even his content from back in the day was just black and white, you know? No overt colors, no fancy lighting, nothing crazy to distract you from anything other than just hardcore bone-crushing weightlifting. And that, in combination with like his oversized aesthetic at the time, being the forefather of the mass era, if you will, it's just a vibe that I've really kind of adopted, and I think it's one of the better ones to adopt too. You know, I had mentioned earlier that multitasking isn't exactly a good thing, especially if you're trying to reach one super big, important goal or task or accomplishment. And so I'm not so sure Dorian would have been as successful as he was in his career if he was worried about photo shoots and magazines and supplements and interviews and TV commercials and, you know, what have you. So something to be said there. I know everyone wants to be like Arnold. I totally get that. Charismatic, good looking, you know, great with the ladies. He went from Mr. Olympia to governor to actor, and I don't really know anyone else who has accomplished nearly as much as him, especially in the time frame that he's accomplished it. But, you know, let's not forget about the guys that had that laser cut kind of diamond cutting focus and sought out to achieve a goal and achieved it. And Dorian did it in his early 30s. He didn't win his first Olympia until he was like, I think 30, 31. Someone fact checked me on that. So pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. I can tell that I had a really good bicep workout And you can also tell that you had a really good bicep workout when you're on the treadmill and you're just holding your phone up to your face to scroll through TikTok or whatever you're doing while on the treadmill. And then you switch arms, and the arm that you were holding the phone with, when you straighten it out, your biceps kind of burning a little bit because it's so fatigued that just holding, your small phone kind of further exhausts it more than what it already is. And so it's a pretty good feeling, it's a feeling of validation that all your effort in the gym was legit, and definitely with the right nutrition, hydration, and rest, I think it'll pay off, and I think we'll be getting good-sized arms. Who do you guys think had the best arms out of all the bodybuilders? I hate to say, obviously there's Arnold's, right? We'll give Arnold his credit. I want to give not Lee Haney. Larry Scott. I want to give Larry Scott his dues because it's his arm workout and routine that helped Arnold to get the size that it got with his arms. And he was the first Mr. Olympia, Larry Scott. But I think Lee Priest, prime Lee Priest arms. And you know something? It's not even the bicep and tricep combination that made his arms look so impressive. He just had an absolute fucking girth of a forearm, So, I don't mean to keep rambling. I could probably go on for at least another 12 minutes, but I know this video is probably already long enough for you guys, so I'm going to cut it here. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be putting out more content like this. And if you like the video, like the video. Otherwise, hope you guys are hitting your goals. Hope you guys are getting stronger, staying safe, staying hydrated, and getting big. Adios.